This is a 1965 Ford Mustang with a 289 V8. So what we're going to do today is replace the water pump. Okay, so after I fixed the radiator, put in the radiator in, got the thermostat housing gasket to stop leaking. It still was losing water, and I couldn't figure this out at all. So I just happened to get lucky, and I looked right underneath here, and the water was pooling. Okay, so you look very carefully. Right there, you're going to see we got water leaking. So we did not get lucky. We have to take that apart. We'll look at that again. So, and I said, geez, I just fixed that. Well, to find out that, well, I still didn't know what the problem was. So I bought another water pump and put it on. But when I took this hose off, that is when I found the problem. And the problem, okay, here's the water pump, and here's for the top hose. This one is for the top hose. But when you look at from the opposite side, you see that part of the casting is missing. It's broke off, or I don't know what happened. So when you put the hose on, it sneaks out of here and leaks over here. But for the most part, when you're driving, the wind is blowing here, the thing is hot, so it's evaporating it, because it just comes out as a fine mist. And then when you stop, it doesn't, you don't see it. So I just got lucky, saw that pooling, and I said, geez, maybe it's a water pump. Well, got lucky, and that's what it is. But I've never seen anything like this before, where the inlet pipe is busted. And it's not like you can unscrew it, because it's part of the whole casting. So that was the culprit right there. And if we look down in here, here's our radiator, here's the engine, here's the air cleaner, here's the distributor, here's the hose that goes to the radiator, and right here is our pump. Okay, so how to know what to take off? We can start with the gasket. This is the gasket that is going to be replaced. So if you just look, we have one here, 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 one down there. Here's my finger. Oh, there it is, right there. One down here. What do we have on this side? We got the water hoses, and then we have one down here, and then we'll see what else we got. So, and then we're gonna have to take the fan off. There's 2 bolts here, 4 bolts here, but you gotta be careful. This is where you're skinning your knuckles all the time. Nothing you can do about it. That's a radiator, standard old thing. And then we'll have to take the alternator off. So we'll start with loosening the radiator cap to take off the pressure. In fact, I'll just take it right off. And then way down on the bottom is the little cockpit there for the water. Cockpit here for the water. And just let that drain out. Well, actually for the press down. So we're going to take off the alternator. The bottom is a 9/16, and the top one is a 5/8. So let me loosen the top one. This is 5/8. Remember, we loosen going counterclockwise. Here's the 9/16 for the bottom. And you can see that the tension comes right off. So then we remove the fan belt. Okay, so we'll just wiggle that spacer out of the way so you don't have to pick it off the ground. There's the bolt, and we'll set the bracket. We also set the alternator out of the way. We also need this to take the bracket off, but that's one of the bolts that come with the taking the water pump off. So what I'm going to do is take this nylon string and I'm going to put it through the bolt hole of this alternator, or should I say bracket, because I don't want it to fall down. Then I have a wire problem. So I'll just tie it to the... Okay, so what I'm going to do, tie it up over here, and it can dangle on the string versus dangle on the wires. Okay, close enough. See, you can see the alternator just dangling there, so it's not going to go anyplace. So that gives us a lot of room here to take the hose off, and then we'll take these brackets off, and then we have to take, well, I guess we could leave the top radiator hose on, but we need to take the bottom one, the second one down, and the third one. The third one goes to the heater. Okay, so by taking this heater hose off, make sure you have your pan under there. That'll drain the water. Let's do it nice and easy so it doesn't make big mess. And I'll just turn this hose down so it takes the rest of the water out of the radiator. It doesn't make any difference. Well, you know what? Why even play with this? Get the top hose out of the way. And come on. Yeah. Okay. Now the rest of these will come easy. Let's just take this hose right off. Not fool with it. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to line this up on the air cleaner just to know which direction it goes. Alright, the next thing would be the heater hose. Just need a little bit smaller screwdriver here. Break that loose a little bit. Okay, I don't know why that gave us a hard time. Set that out of the way. Alright, now we're starting to see a little bit more here. So I think what we need to do next is take the fan off. Let me get rid of this belt. Takes care of that. Well, since I don't want to fight with this, I already took the hose off from the top. The bottom one is disconnected. And the radiator is only 4 bolts. So I'm just going to get rid of it. Not that big of a deal. And I'll make this job so much easier. And I won't have to skin my hands on the radiator. I'll leave that one in. Take the 2x ones out. Okay, that is 2 and a half. Okay, now let's just get the last one here. This way it sort of held it in place while I took everybody else out there. Just to make it a little bit easier. There's the 4th one. And here we come. Get our hose past that bracket, past the fan, and away we go. We forgot one more. That's the overflow hose. Just leave that up here, and away we go. So now, we got access to the fan. What are we talking here? Okay. 1/2 inch. Let's break them all loose. See, so this is just 4 bolts, no big deal. And a spacer. I'm surprised that's threaded all the way. But that's alright. Is move that pan out of the way so I don't have to fish out any bolts that fall to the ground or fall into the pan. Okay, so here's the last bolt. fan, and here's the spacer. So I'll just sort of put that here like this, that way I don't have to remember. And there's the pulley. Okay, see, now look how much room we have to work. Makes it so much easier. Let's take these brackets off, because we need to take them off anyway. Okay, to make things easy for me to remember, I am going to take these the bolts off, and I'm just going to leave them on the bracket. Let's see, this one is a 9/16, so let's go after that one. That's the bracket for the alternator. And I'll leave that right on there. Okay, so once again, let's just take a look. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since this bolt is a little hard, I'm going to go both ways, one way and the other. And I'm going to leave it in there because that's the easy side. Or not, it's... Go with this one, see if it's the same problem. Nope. Maybe it'll be easier without the extension. That is interesting. Come on out of there. Oh, somebody put a lot of tar on this thing. See, this is how they should all come. Nice and easy. Wow, look at these. Oh. See, I didn't have to fish that one out from the water bucket. Alright, let's see. There's one here. Okay, that's a long one too. Okay, so we'll take that. I'll bend this bracket out of the way a little bit, not much. Just to get by. Okay, now this one scares me because It's moving so hard. Alright, we got this one off. Now let's do the last one. I think. Okay, that's that one. So let's just lightly tap on this. Now let me use something a little easier, like this putty knife. See, did we get them all? No, we didn't. That's why it doesn't want to come. So, right down here, way down here. Okay, there we go. Alright, now let's try it. Okay, let's see if that was enough. Yep, there we go. Here it is. Okay, well, at least we got it off. And this, you'll see, is the pump itself. So, let's get the new one. The next step will be, I have to clean this gasket off, this old gasket. So, because we can start anyway, got to go around the whole thing. And just take your time. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so I put my favorite solvent on this rag, which is gasoline. Okay, let's see, here's our gasket. Okay, so I want to compare these. Here is the new one. Here is the old one. And you look, it's identical. Now, what happened to me yesterday is the reason I didn't put this on is because the auto parts store gave me the wrong one. So to find out that the Mustang 289s have two different, I don't know, models or something, where they have different water pumps depending on the identification of the car itself. So this one has a closed one. The newer one has a different type, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that gasket on here, put some sealer on here, and then put it back on. Oh, let's just try this for the fun of it. Okay, so this one fits perfect. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want to clean some of these bolts. I'm going to brush these off, get rid of all this crap, and I'm going to put a light coat of oil on it so they all go on easy. But what I want to do now is I want to put this gasket on. See, which way does it go? Okay, but I'm going to glue this on both sides because I don't want any trouble. I do not want to take this off again. I'm going to use this Permatex number 2. So now we have this all set. Now we'll put it on the car. So I cleaned, scraped all this off. I wiped it down with gasoline and put sealer on the gasket on both sides. So now I'm going to install it. Well, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but the reason I was having a problem last night is because the auto parts store gave me the wrong water pump, and I didn't realize it till I was getting ready to. When I start looking at it, comparing it, I said, geez, this isn't right. There's something wrong here. And wouldn't you know, there was something wrong. But anyway, we're back online. We got the real one. The real one that belongs on here, yeah. So, here we go. There we go. Now, don't have any bolts. Okay, let's just put a couple easy ones in. I'm going to touch just a drop of oil on every one of these. Not much, just to make it easier to go in. Okay, so let's try a couple more. Nope, wrong ones. Oh, I remember, these are long ones. See, this is a long one. Yeah, that's a long one. Okay, so this long one goes here. Okay. Tighten. Not super tight, because what I want to do is get them all on there, because this is aluminum. If you tighten one side way up and it's not flush, you can crack this. So I'm going to go all the way around and tighten these up. Okay, there's the ones on the bottom. Can't forget this one. Okay. Now, let me tighten this one up a little bit more. And then we'll put the two bolts with the brackets. Remember I said just leave them with the brackets so you know which ones they are and where they go. Makes it a little easier. Don't have to remember everything. See, this is a little easier to do without the radiator. The radiator is only 4 bolts. So, geez, how can you not take it out? Okay, so let's just go around again, tighten this up. Seems about right. Oh, okay. Got the alternator bracket. That's no big deal. Just take your time. Oh, 9/16. They all come together. Bracket. Make sure it moves. I have to adjust it. Alright, now let's see. We got all the bolts tightened. Just to make this a little bit easier for myself, I am going to loosen this bracket. So it has a little flexibility. So I don't have to fight this. So but remember, we tied it so it wouldn't fall down and screw up our electrical connectors. Yeah, before I do this, I don't think you can see that. Okay, so I'll move that bracket, the bottom bracket, out of the way. Now I'm going to put the spacer on. But see, by loosening that bracket, I have flexibility. So it makes it a little easier for me to align all this up. Now that, put a little bit of oil on the bottom bolt just to make it a little bit easier for myself. And hook it on. So what happens is, when we put the belt on, the bottom bolt, it will hold the tension. Okay, so before we forget, let's tighten up our two brackets. And there we go. Okay, heater hose next. Get it all the way down there. Get a screwdriver. Okay, that's that. Alright, now we have to put the hose that goes from the thermostat housing over to the water pump. So I'll put a little of this black stuff on there. Let's put a little bit on, not too much. And I'll put it around here. There we go. Alright, so we'll just slip this on. Push it in and down. And tighten this one up. So now we got the alternator on, we got the hose, we got the heater hose. Alright, now let's put the fan back on. Okay, once again, got an old bad habit, I guess. I don't know if it's bad or not. I don't care. This is my car. Do whatever I want. Put some oil on these bolts so they go in really nice. Put the spacer there. Line one up. Just get it started. And then we'll grab another one. Do the one directly opposite. And there we go. And we'll oil on them. They go fine. But see, once again, without the radiator, it makes it a lot easier. And for 4 bolts, forget it. Gotta take this off. Then put the pulley on. How come you didn't tell me? Jeez. Okay. Now we'll get it right. So, next time you see me doing something wrong, tell me. See, that looks a lot better. Pulley, 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 all lined up, all 3 of them. Well, good thing I noticed that. I would have been really aggravated. I would have put this whole thing together and go to put the fan belt on, and there's no pulley. Let me put this fan belt down while it's easy. Okay, close enough, guys. Alright. Okay, belt is on there, good tight. Now let's do the alternator. To do the alternator, we got the belt on, there's the fan. So we know it's 9/16. There's a, probably can't see it from that angle, but I'm going to pull up on the alternator as tight as I can, and then there's a bolt right down here, 9/16. That goes to that bracket that we put on. Where is it? Here it is. So, tighten it up. I hope so. Okay, tighten that one up. Okay, so that's tight enough. Now, I'll come here and tighten this upper bracket. There we are. So it doesn't slip. We're good to go. Yeah, okay, right there. That's the bottom bolt. And here is the top bolt for the bracket. And there's how it all looks. It comes around, pulley goes around, the pulley that we forgot to put on that connects to the fan all the way down to the crankshaft pulley. And the last thing is the radiator. So let's just sneak this down in there. We'll have to fight with this hose a little bit, but no biggie, we'll get it in there. Move the fan just a little bit more. And down it goes. And the hose has to go down and up. Okay, that takes care of that. Let me put the easiest one in first. Grab another easy one. Okay. Now let's do one of the bottom ones. Okay, that's the bottom one. Now we'll put the top hose on. Slide it right over there. And that is the bottom hose. So we just have to put the bottom hose on the water pump. Slide that clamp up. Come on, baby. You do it. You got slow confidence in you. And there it is. Okay, so we've got a good position here. Alright, so the bottom clamp for the hose, here's the hose, here's where it goes on to the water pump. What I did is I just moved this in a good position so that I had access with the screwdriver to tighten it up. So there it is. So now we're all in position. Let's see. So we got the bottom hose on, connected to the water pump. We got the top hose connected to the thermostat housing. Goes to the radiator. Oh, we just need this guy. Overflow. We'll put him on. Put overflow on, and then we'll add water. So we'll tighten this guy up. Okay. Now here's our press stone. This is what I pulled out of the car, so I'm putting it right back in. Because I know it's brand new. Just checking, see if the cotter pin or the cockpit down on the bottom is closed. And the good thing is I don't see any nuts and bolts left over, so it looks like we got everything back in where we're supposed to. Okay, so it's full, so I'll wait a little bit and then it'll probably go down because it'll leak. The fluid will go down into the motor and then it'll leak past the thermostat here. But what I will do is, to get it going, I will start it up and let it run for a little while. Alright, started the car up and let it run. I filled it up with Prestone, and what happened is warming up that I triggered the thermostat, and I will open it up, so I'm going to put more Prestone in there. Okay, almost full. I don't know if you can or not, but the water, well, the water, yeah, whatever. Prestone water is rushing across the top of the radiator, so you know it's got good flow. Let me put just a little bit more. I want to put water in there a little bit. And we look at the temp gauge. So that's about normal. Okay, so the radiator's full. As you can see, the water rushing across. So that means the pump is working, the thermostat is open, and it's just circulating. So now I'm going to put the cap on, put it on a little pressure, and I'm going to wait a little bit and see if that hose on the bottom is leaking, or this one's leaking, or any of them are leaking. And if they don't leak, then it looks like we have successfully replaced the water pump. And there it is. Now, what you got to be careful for around these cars is that fan, because there's no shroud around it. You can see it here. There's no shroud around that. So if you hit that with your finger, it's going to be gone. You hit it with a tool, it's going to take off. Okay, so just be careful. Other than that, no problem. So, see, when I did all this work, it was worth taking out the radiator just to have access to everything. It just made it so much easier for another 10 minutes worth of work. Okay, so now you know how to do it.